Hello and welcome, student. Before we start solving previous tests and exams, I would like to make this important disclaimer. The following will be just a practice exam, and it's only intended for revision purposes only. So it has nothing to do with your actual exam. It is not a model for your exam. It's just for you to revise, to test yourself, to practice more, keep yourself with a timer, be in the exam environment. You shouldn't assume the actual exam will be identical to this one. It's also crucial before you start viewing this review is that you complete all the homework problems, look at the lecture notes, and watch the previous video to ensure a thorough preparation for the exam. This is only a practice exam. It's just for revision. It will not help you understand the material. You need to do the homework, lecture notes, watch the videos before you come and see this exam. Okay, now we will work with the previous exam, which will be in the first semester of 2022 to 2023. This exam consists of 6 multiple choice questions and 2 written questions. Let's start with the multiple choice questions, and my advice to you in the exam, please go start with the written questions. That will make a little bit, save you time, and you can just take yourself with the focus, because in the written questions you have to think about what you will write. So in this question we have a manufacturer where the revenue function is given by this formula. And we are asking you to find the rate of change with respect to Q when Q is 20. So rate of change, it has another name which called the derivative. So we need to find the derivative of R when Q is equal to 20. Now what's the derivative of R? So derivative of R is derivative of a Q is just 1. So we get 30 times 1, the answer is 30, minus 0.2. Now what is the derivative of a Q square? It is exactly what you are expecting, it's 2Q. So we just write 2Q here. And now we simplify, so we get 30 minus 20 times 2, this is just 0.4Q. Remember, I need to find the derivative when this number is equal to 20. So we substitute every instance of Q by 20. Of course, if you have the calculator, you can just plug in 20 and you will get the final answer. The final answer will be 22, and that 22 will be dollar per unit. What does it mean, dollar per unit? What does it mean that this is the rate of change of the revenue? It means for every increase in the sale after 20, which means if we sell 20 and then we sell 21, we expecting that the revenue will increase by $22. So if we sell 20 units and then we are deciding, should we sell one more unit? So we go to 21, how much my revenue will increase on average? It will increase on average 22 unit. It doesn't mean that my 1 unit costs 22. My 1 unit has many factors depends on it, but on average, yes, after 20 going to 21, my average would be increased by 1 unit, which means I will get 22. Question number 2, we are asking you to find the derivative using the definition of the derivative. And that's exactly what we need to do here. So what we need to do is the following. We need to find the derivative f prime of x equal limit as h goes to 0 x divided by h. This is the definition of derivative, which means you find the derivative using the limit. Now, how you do that? We will do it step by step. First of all, we keep h as is. Second step, you need to write the function here. This function, the original function in the question, just write it down here between two brackets. So we get x squared minus 3x. Next, write this function again here, but don't write x, just write an empty bracket. So we get x plus h, x plus h. And now, all what you need to do is you need to simplify the answer. Well, how do we open this bracket here? Remember, if we have a plus b squared, this means a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's how we open the bracket. So we get limit h goes to 0 for the following: x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus, take the 3 inside, so we get 3x minus 3h, take the minus inside, minus x squared plus 3x divided by h. And now we do the cancellation. Which cancellation? X squared get cancelled, 3x get cancelled. So the final answer will be equal to limit h goes to 0, h, we get 2xh plus h squared minus 3h. The next step, take h as common factor. And now just write the rest. So we get 2x plus h minus 3. Now we have h and h get cancelled. So finally we get limit of 2x plus h minus 3. If we plug in h equal to 0, which we will do direct substitution, the answer will be just 2x negative 3. And that's the answer for this question. So this, we finished the written part, written questions of this exam. Let's now go to the other multiple choice questions. Now, for the first multiple choice question, remember, if we have a limit, the first question we need to do direct substitution. And if we do direct substitution, we will get 0 over 0, which we know it is undefined. So what we need to do is we need to find the limit. How we are going to find the limit? I will take x squared as common factor. So I have x power 5. I took 2 out of the x's, so the remaining will be 3 plus 3 divided by x squared. Now there is a clear cancellations. I do that cancellation. So I get limit x goes to 0, x squared plus 3. And finally, we substitute x equal to 0. The final answer is 3, which corresponds to part A. That's number 1. For number 2, remember, if we have x power 4, the derivative is 4x power 3. So the derivative of this function will be y prime equal 3 times x power 4 will be 4x power 3 minus 8. Derivative of x squared is 2x plus derivative of x is 1. So we just write 5. Derivative of this 8 is 0. So the final answer, if we write it down, it will be 12x cubed minus 16x plus 5. Which answer correspond to this one? It will be 12x cubed. It will be the last one. That's the answer. Next question, if you remember this question, we need to split the denominator. Of course, we can use the quotient rule, but splitting the fraction would be much easier. How do we split the fraction? Remember, this will go down here, it will go down here, and it will go down here. So we'll get 2x power 5 by x cubed minus 3x power 4 by x cubed plus 6 divided by x cubed, which means y equal 2x squared minus 3x plus 6x negative 3. I still didn't do the derivative. Now I will do the derivative. So the derivative will be 4x negative 3. Now if you take the derivative of negative 3, you multiply it by 6. Here you get 18x negative 4. Which answer corresponds to this one? It will be C. And that's question number 3. Next, we'll go to question number 4, which is, again, a multiple choice question. But in this question, we will use the product rule. So let me write it down. We will use the product rule. Now, what is the product rule? Product rule means when you do the derivative, you need to find the derivative of first times the second untouched plus the first times the derivative of the second. Now, what is the second? E7x. What is the first? X power 5. Those, will you just write them down without any changes? This is the second. This is the first. Here, you need to find the derivative of first. What's the derivative of first? It will be just 4x power 4. Sorry, 5x power 4. Now, what's the derivative of second? It is just 7e 7x. Now, none of these answers looks exactly of this. So we need to do something. And I think he's taking common factor. So let's take a common factor and see where we will get with this. Now, if we take common factor, I will take e7x and I will take x power 4. So here I will get 5 plus 7x. That's when we take common factor. Which one corresponds to 7x plus 5, x4? It is part B. Finally, we need to use the quotient rule along with, here we need to use the quotient rule. So the first step, let me just rewrite this function. It will be x power 5 divided by x plus 5 power 5. And now we use the quotient rule. The quotient rule will say, take the denominator and square it. And then take the denominator again and write it down with the derivative of the numerator, which is 5x4 minus. Now you do the opposite. Take the numerator, x power 5, times the derivative of the denominator, which will be 5x plus 5 power 4. By the chain rule, you need to divide by the derivative of the inner, which will be just 1. Now this we can simplify it by taking common factor as we just did before. So this would be x plus 5 power 10. And this one will be x plus 5 power 4 if you take common factor, along with x power along with the 5 and x power 4. So what is remaining? If we take this one, remaining is just 1 plus, I'm sorry, not 1, it will be x plus 5. And then minus, if we take here, we'll just get x. So the final answer will be just 25 x plus 5 power 4, x power 4, x plus 5 power 10. So the final answer would be 25 x power 4 divided by x plus 5 power 6, which is, of course, the last answer. This is just a manipulation of using the quotient rule. By this, we finish from this exam. I would like you to repeat solving this exam by yourself. So